Welcome to Business Legal Lifecycle TV, the live TV show all about the legal aspects of your business to help educate you on complex legal terms in an easy to understand manner, to help understand why you need to do certain things in your business from a legal point of view, and to help you develop a plan for the future. Our mission at Business Legal Lifecycle is to help empower all small to medium-sized businesses around the world to get access to legal advice so that they can help build their communities and make the world a better place. Did you know that any business owner is on average 7 months away from losing everything? That is the average time it takes from a successful business to fold when an aspect of their business is not set up correctly. Have you ever wanted to get legal advice but didn't understand what was going on? Do you feel like there is a divide between lawyers and their clients? Then this TV show is for you. It is all about empowering you and your business with the knowledge and tools to ensure that this doesn't happen to you. Business Legal Lifecycle TV delivers a twice-weekly show focusing on the legal aspects of your business. At lunchtime on Mondays, we present Fast Fix Monday, a quick 5 to 10 minute show that will give you some actionable steps to consider for the win for your business. And at lunchtime on Wednesdays, we present our in-depth show of between 30 minutes and an hour, where we go through complicated legal aspects of your business in a simple to understand, plain English manner. And whether that is through educational pieces or interviews with experts in their fields.
Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Business Legal Lifecycle TV. Today is Wednesday. Everyone's been celebrating Christmas a couple of days, but we're back here talking about business and the legal lifecycle. So I'm Craig Mason, and with me I have
Jeremy Stratton. Nice to see everyone, and I hope everyone had Christmas. If you're listening to this on the podcast, thank you for continuing to join us over your break.
Yeah, absolutely. So we thought as sort of the last show of 2017 that today we'd speak about what we're going to be doing in 2018, which seems pretty obvious. So a bit of a wrap of sort of what we've done and then go through the next phases that we're going to cover for going forward into 2018. So we're pretty excited for 2018. We hope everyone's got a lot of value out of what we've done since 2017, and we're going to rank it up and kick off 2018 with a bang and going through the rest of the phases that we haven't touched on so far. So just with the Business Legal Lifecycle, what's our vision for you? Well, it's pretty simple. Our vision is to make legal advice accessible to all small to medium-sized businesses around the world. We want this to go out to the world. Obviously, that's a pretty big vision, but we're putting things in place to make that happen. So that's our vision for the Business Legal Lifecycle. And part of that is what we're doing now with the TV and the podcast to get all this information out there so small to medium-sized businesses around the world have access to legal advice. And we've got various that Jeremy will touch on shortly, but also supplement the TV, the podcast, and those sorts of things. So that's our vision for the Business Legal Lifecycle going forward. And yeah, we're ready to kick into 2018. So Jeremy, do you want to go through the new products that are coming out?
Yeah, for sure. And so the new products that we're talking about today, they're not released yet, but we just wanted to give you a snippet of what we're planning for 2018. We've been building the Business Legal Lifecycle for quite a while now, and now ramp that up because we want to provide, as Craig said, we want to help people and businesses around the world to get really good access to cost-effective legal advice, because that will help prevent that goes around. So the new products that we're looking at launching in 2018, we're working at the moment on a free test. Someone who's seeing the stuff on the website now, .au, 10 to 15 minutes, and it goes through and it gives you a report that gives you about $1,000 worth of legal value. It costs 95 Australian dollars. And what it does is it tells you where you are in the business legal life cycle. So it tells you what you need to do in that phase. It tells you what you might have missed from previous phases in the business legal life cycle. And it also shows you what you need to do for the future. And if you are interested in that, and we actually, our first show, July in 2017 was on that and showing you the value that you get out of that test. And so if you're interested in that, you can check that out at businesslegallifecycle.com.au/001. Forgive the poor quality of the video at the time. We were just learning and getting our feet on the ground with what we're doing. So if you are interested, check that out. And also on that, if you're interested in our previous TV shows, as always, businesslegallifecycle.com.au/BLL-TV-index has all our previous shows. So as I said, we've got a free test that we're putting together, which is called the test. It'll be really quick. It's 4 questions. It'll go through and it will give you some really valuable information about the structure of your business, and it will also give you an idea about what part of the business legal life cycle you're in. So the business legal life cycle is split up into 4 parts. The first 3 phases are the startup phases. The second 3 are the consolidation phases. The next 4 are the scaling phases, and the last 3 are the business exit phases. So that will provide you really good information about that, what you need to think about in each of those parts. It's going to provide you information about the consultants that you need to consult with for your business and who should be providing what advice. And it will help you develop a plan for the future. So we're really excited about that, and it's something that we're working very hard over the Christmas break and into January to get ready to go. So we'll be talking about that when that's ready to go. So watch out for that. The other thing that we've worked very hard on are in those 4 parts are books. So you'll see behind me is the Business Legal Lifecycle book, and hopefully you've read that. And if you haven't, please check that out on Amazon and all good bookstores, and you can even order it. But we've done more in-depth books on each part of the business legal lifecycle to give you more value about what you need to do to make sure that you really what you need to do in your business from a legal point of view. So those are new products that are coming out definitely in 2018. We're working on our international expansion as well. We're working with a lawyer in the UK to help us to hopefully produce a UK version of this. And if you're watching this in other countries, we'd love to speak to you, or if you're listening to this in other countries, we'd love to speak to you about helping us put together a product that will be able to help out other businesses. The laws are different in every country, and in some cases in different states. I know the US has different laws depending on what state you're in. So we're very interested in talking about the different laws that apply to different countries. So if you are in a different country or a lawyer, or you know someone who would be an excellent resource for us to talk to about the law in their country, we'd love to speak to them, because as Craig said, our vision is to take this worldwide, and we don't want to stop at Australia, we don't want to stop at the UK. Every country, every business needs cost-effective legal advice, because the main reason for business failure around the world is a lack of planning. So we want to help plug that hole, provide excellent value to everyone in business. So that's the new products for 2018. But moving forward, as Craig said, Business Legal Lifecycle TV and the podcast are going to, we feel very passionately about providing really great value. We're putting together a lot more interviews going into the new year. Each month, though, has a different theme, as you would have gathered. So, in December, where we're doing this show, it's all been about phase 3 and compliance. And what we've done is, rather than going linear and going through the business legal life cycle, we've decided to mix it up and do different phases at different times. So what we want to do is, when we get to July 2018, we would have been running this TV show and podcast for a whole year, which has been a lot of work, and even to today, it's been a lot of fun, working out the different things that we can talk about and interviewing. So we wanted to talk to you about what we're going to be doing up until August 2018, because we want to make sure that you're aware of the different phases and what they mean. So we're going to go through each month and talk to you what each month means. So, Craig, anything that you kick into January 2018?
No, I don't think so. We'll, as Jeremy said, we'll kick off with the schedule for 2018. So January, next week, phase 6, which is maximising your current business and bringing in investors. So we're going through that phase. As part of that, we're going to talk generally about what you need to do to maximise your business and what you should have done to get to that point, and what you need to do going forward. Where, as always, we'll have our monthly legal update in January as well, which will go through some various new sort of cases and decisions that have been put down during the last month or so, and some of those may involve things that are relevant for maximising your business and things you need to be aware of. We are also going to talk about bringing in investors, so that's obviously pretty important to think about and consider, and there's lots of things to look out for. So we'll give you our top 3 things to look out for in bringing in investors. As always, with any phase or any month, we have a interview, and January is no different. We'll have an interview at some point in January with Dan Holden about his experience actually expanding and maximising his business, and he'll give some tips and very important information that I'm sure everyone will get a lot of value out of. And we're also going to talk about maximising your business with bringing in investors, shareholders agreements, the sort of agreements that you're going to need with investors, which is obviously important. Make sure everyone's on the same page, going back to previous shows and right back to the beginning of the phases, is common goals, and everyone be aware of that. So the same would apply with investors, making sure that what do they want to get out of it, because that's important. Obviously, if they want something else and you want something different, it's not going to work out. So think about all those things. Same with joint ventures, those sorts of things. So it's all about bringing in investors and maximising the business. So that's going to be January 2018, phase 6. Jeremy, what February?
February is going to be phase 9, property. It's also just investing generally. Phase 9 comes basically after you've maximised your business, you've got some estate planning, you've expanded your business, and really when you should be looking at putting together your investments to ensure that you're going to be able to survive, for the long term. Any business could fail at any time, so you want to make sure you've got some real chocks in place to make sure that you're going to be earning income, passive income from other sources. So investing in property, we're going to talk real estate agents, we're going to talk about some property strategies, investment strategies. We're going to be talking about the process of buying property. Now, in Australia, the process of buying property is different in different states. So we're going to talk about it generally like I do in the Business Legal Lifecycle book. We're going to talk about how to deal with real estate, talk about what to look out for in a property. We're going to talk about all these different topics that will really help provide value to you in investing in property. Now, I'll just say that I said before that phase 9 is investing in property or investing generally, and we put that in at phase. What we found was that often people invest in their business and invest in their structures and invest in their expansion and do that in the early part of their business. There's no reason that you can't invest in property earlier as well. So even if you're not, in phase 6, phase 7, phase 8, which is estate planning, investing in property is still a really interesting topic, and it's something that we hope to provide a great deal of value for, because it's something that we have done a lot of work of over a lot of years. We do a lot of conveyancing, a lot of commercial conveyancing, and helping people do that. So I really encourage you to watch and listen in February 2018, because there's going to be some great value that you're going to get out of what to think about investing in properties and all the different strategies that you might have in place. So 2008, do you want to talk about March 2018?
Yeah, absolutely. So March, as Jeremy said before, the life cycle split up into 4 sort of components: start, consolidation, scaling, and business exit. So January and February, January is sort of consolidating, maximising your business, and then scaling is part of the investing in property. So you're using the money that you're creating in your business to invest in property or whatever it might be, or property within the business. March is going to move into a different section, and that is sale of the business or part thereof. So pretty big phase. Ultimately, most businesses are developing and creating a business to sell. So March is going to be all about selling your business and the things you need to consider for that to maximise that you hope to receive. And obviously the whole point of the legal life cycle is to have followed along the journey up until that point. You've got everything in to maximise the value that you're going to receive. So and we're going to talk about selling your whole business, or it might be part of the business. We'll touch on listing on stock exchange, those sorts of things. So it's a pretty big phase for March. So that's going to be an exciting time. There's going to be a lot of information. We encourage everyone to tune in March. Not that I'd say not to tune in January, February either, but March is a big one. Going to have a lot of information, and it's not just for people to think that in that phase of the business as well. I think it's important for everyone because it's going to give a lot of information about what you need to have had in place in order to make. It's going to be March 2018, and that's phase 11, sale of your business. Jeremy, what are we? April.
April is going to be phase 13. So phase 13 is insolvency and winding up. So there are two ways to look at this phase. Insolvency and winding up can be a bad thing. So that can be if your business is, you might be in phase 3, initial clients, and you can't get the business off the ground, and it goes straight to insolvency and winding up. Hopefully not, but it might be. So it can be relevant there, but it can also be relevant from you've been through the business legal life cycle and you've been through all the phases. You've sold your business, as Craig's talked about, in phase 11, and then you could be just looking to wind up and start something new. So phase 13 has both positive and negative. Speaking too quickly there, and so you need to. I think it's a really important phase to understand the process, because a lot of people don't understand the process and don't understand some of the consequences of bankruptcy and insolvency, and that can really be to your detriment. So in April, we're going to talk a lot about what insolvency and winding up mean. We're going to talk about a lot about the consequences of insolvency and winding up. Talk about the consequences for certain types of businesses. So around Australia, now around the world, different industries have different consequences to events. If your company goes into liquidation, then that can mean certain things. Certain professions, like, it's very hard to actually practice in your profession if you've had a company that's gone into liquidation, or you've been really careful on these things. And so it's a really important phase. And as I say, it's not necessarily a negative. It's got a lot of negative connotations to it. So stay tuned in April. As Craig said, all of this is important, but stay tuned in April to find out more about what we're going to be talking about there, about the insolvency winding up phases. Craig, do you want to talk about May 2018?
May, we're talking phase 4, so taking a back, and that's about bringing on employees. So that's the life cycle where you've got your initial clients, you've got everything underway, and now you need to bring on some employees. Pretty important phase of any business. Very important to get right. The cost, face unfair dismissal or those sorts of things is have everything in place to help that. So we're going to be talking about of having an actual employment agreement in place. Those things, make sure that you're aware of the awards that are relevant to your employees, making sure you're aware of your obligations in regards to employees and the process that you need. There's also going to be dealing with performance, or dealing with employees that need to be given warnings, those sorts of things. Pretty important phase, obviously, with any business in order to continue in the life cycle and eventually get to the scaling or business exit. Most need to help them with that. If you are in a business you don't need employees on, then yeah, good for you. But most businesses are going to need employees, and it's a very important part of an integrity business. So bringing them on, having the right process for that is very important. We're also going to talk about onboarding and those sorts of things and making sure that's right. So 2018, phase 4, bringing on employees. Jeremy, we're into June, end of the financial year. What have we got?
scary to be thinking about that's the end of the financial year already. But phase 10 in June 2018, and phase 10 is all about litigation and dispute resolution. So if you show number 44, I think it was, on debt recovery, it was 44, then you'll know that we talked about the debt recovery process. And we mentioned in there that you will need to think about litigation if people don't pay their debts. Well, that's phase 10, is litigation to dispute resolution. So here we're going to talk about the court process. Again, it is slightly different in every state, so we'll be talking about it in a holistic fashion. We're going to be talking about litigation. We're going to be talking about dispute resolution, so tactics to try and go to court, because let's face it, when you go to court, there's only really the lawyers who win at the end of the day. So we're going to be talking about those kind of things. We're going to be talking through some real life examples of litigation and where people have got it wrong. So it's a really important phase. It's unfortunately something in business that you can't find when you do need to work closely with your lawyer. So it's a really good one to understand what's actually going on and where you're going and what you're actually doing. So tune in June 2000, phase 10. Craig, July, that'll be our year mark.
Yeah, so July, talking about just for something different, kicking off the new financial year for them. We're going to talk about two phases during that month. Two that are sort of go hand in hand, which is estate planning, and phase 12, which is retirement. So retirement could be, not if say you've sold your business but you're still in it for a period of time, then after that period of time you're going to or it might be that your business is not something that either one, you didn't want to sell or can't be sold, and you're eventually sort of winding down and retiring that part of the business. So that's what retirement's going to be about, and it goes hand to hand with estate planning, because as part of the estate planning there could be some succession planning for the business. So you could have family members involved, or handing the business off to employees. Those sort of can be part of the estate planning, succession planning phase, which is phase 8. And also estate planning, for those that aren't aware, so that's planning for your estate. So everything you own, planning if something was to happen to you, what you want your estate to go to. So your kids or your spouse or your charities or whatever it might be. So pretty important to think about those sorts of things. Obviously, you think about death, but unfortunately we don't all live forever. So we've got to consider that. And talk to advisors about estate planning, and we've put that in that part of the life cycle, because we think you've sort of maximised your business, you're scaling it up, and you need to think about these sorts of things. Phase 8, estate planning, and phase 12 is retirement. So you're sort of going up, selling or not selling, and then sort of winding down to retirement. So that's July 2018. Estate planning is a pretty big one. We're passionate about making sure all that's in order. So, we're going to talk about the importance of that, why you should have it done at that point. And, there'll probably be some things in there about some cases or things that we've seen where people didn't have it, and the issues that beneficiaries and loved ones have faced. So important to get that right. So that's phase 8. And as I said, we're also going to talk about phase 12, retirement. And that's July 2018, Jeremy, August, what are we going to do then?
Well, August slide here for people who are watching this on Facebook or on YouTube or Periscope is 2008, August 2018 and beyond, or at beyond. There's a spelling mistake there, and beyond. Anyway, so basically the 2008 August 2018 will be the anniversary of where we started in August 2017, and we're going to reset and go back through the other phases and talk to more people about their businesses, how the Business Legal Lifecycle. We're going to be talking to a lot more of our international partners to educate you about the in different countries and how they might differ from country to country, and how you might be able to apply them in your business in different countries. So that's 2008 beyond, and we're really excited to kick off into the new year and make sure that we're providing you with some excellent value, some excellent legal value understand what's going on in your business, because we want to make sure that you're part of the businesses that don't fail and that really understand what's going on in their business. This is coming out in the end of 2017, and we really look forward to seeing you in 2018. Craig, did you want to add?
Yeah, other than really excited about 2018, we hope you come along on the journey with us and go through the rest of the phases that we've spoken about today, and enjoy the rest of the festive period, and we will see you in 2018. Thanks for joining us.
See you later.